Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today, I'm excited for this one. I say that in every single video. I'm just excited when I film, okay? Period. But today, it's an exceptionally exciting day because we are going to be testing out and reviewing the Tarte Shape Tape Radiant, okay? I didn't even know that this was out. One of you actually either messaged me over on Instagram or I saw a comment in one of my videos, asking me to review this, and I was like, Radiant? I know they have the original Shape Tape, and I know they have Creamy, but I didn't know that they had recently launched their Radiant Shape Tape. Now, just like the other two formulas, this one retails for $31 US. You can find it in 31 different shades, as well as white, which I did not know that they now have, but now you get the option to add white into the mix, just in case you need to lighten up any of the concealer shades. You know, maybe you get like your summer shade and you add white so that you can use the concealer shade all year round. Now, I purchased the shade 35N for today's review only because my local Ulta Beauty did not have 35 Honey, which is what I usually get, 35H. But we're gonna be trying it out with 35N. It should work just fine. And just like with all of my concealer reviews, we are going to be testing this out on top of a color corrector as well as by itself, to see what the difference is, see what kind of coverage we get. Although based on the details that I've read, this is supposed to be more of like a medium coverage concealer. It's gonna be one of those concealers that you use on like your no makeup days. So based on the details that I'm reading, there are a lot of claims going on over here, okay? So they took 32 subjects, so 32 people, 32 tartlets that were tested with this concealer, and they found that it had 24-hour hydration. It was 12 hours of crease-proof coverage, supposed to wear all day. It's dermatologist tested, waterproof. 100% of the subjects agreed that the under eyes looked smoother. 100% agreed that they reduced the look of dark circles and redness. 97% of them agreed that the under eyes looked brighter, and 97% of them felt that it was weightless, it didn't look cakey, and that it gives a healthy looking glow. So 32 subjects isn't really that many people. So we're gonna add another subject to the equation, okay? Me. I'm the additional subject. It'll be 33. Now the formula is infused with a triple hyaluronic acid blend, and that is what is going to provide us with our 24 hours of hydration. It's also supposed to, like the subject stated, reduce the under eye darkness and texture. It's supposed to make everything look a lot smoother in seconds. It's vegan, it's cruelty-free. The Feather Light formula is supposed to look very effortless and fresh for like that minimal makeup look. And it has a photoluminescent complex that is going to neutralize the dark circles, brighten the under eye area, and make us look like we've got a solid 8 hours of sleep under our belt, okay? Now, because of the hydrating claim, I mean, based on everything that we've just read, this concealer is supposed to be very hydrating. I'm going to pair it with my Huda Beauty Faux Filter color corrector in the shade Peach. This is not as hydrating as my Smashbox and Becca corrector, and I obviously don't want to overdo the hydration underneath the eyes because I know that for one is going to feel pretty heavy. I mean, based on my experience, that's typically what I get underneath the eyes if I go too heavy-handed on a lot of hydrating products underneath the eye. I know that in my head, at least, it makes sense to hydrate an area of the face that is prone to looking dry, but if you overdo it, it's not only going to settle into fine lines and look a little messy, it's also going to move around and just not look great. And we're trying to make this look great. So that is why we're going with this one instead of the other one. Let's get it started. So just applying a little bit of this corrector over on the right side. And after this, I am going to move on to foundation. So I may as well just fast forward through that and I'll come back to conceal. All right, I am back. Foundation is on. I went really light with it because I do want to match the level of coverage that we're going to be getting underneath the eyes. And I'm assuming it's not going to be a lot. So like I said, I went with the shade Medium Neutral, which looks like this. And you can clearly see my skin through it. This is definitely a medium coverage concealer, not full coverage for sure. All right, so I'm gonna start over here on the right side, and I'm not gonna go too heavy with it. I wanna leave it nice and light. You know what? Since this is a more radiant formula, we can go ahead and take care of the left side without worrying that it's gonna dry up on us, because the original Shape Tape absolutely will. We're going to blend it out with my current favorite tool for the under eye area. This is the Makeup by Mario concealer brush. This is his, what is it? The F5. Just concentrating on the area that I feel needs the brightening a little bit more than the rest. That's what it's all about when it's about like no makeup looks. Just concentrating most of your product where you truly need it and not to the areas that don't. And you see one layer of this looks good on top of my Faux Filter corrector. I actually don't mind the amount of coverage that this is giving, and it does look very nice and like smooth. I'm not going to build it up more than the one time though, because this is a radiant formula. I don't want to overdo it. I know that if you do too many layers on a radiant formula, it's just gonna move around and settle and do all of the things that we absolutely don't want it to do. So I'm gonna leave it as is. It looks beautiful in my opinion. Let's go ahead and blend the left side. All right, so definitely not the same amount of coverage at all, but the concealer does look really nice. I honestly thought that this was going to look a lot more sheer than it actually does. It actually is concealing pretty nicely, and it is helping to brighten up the under eye area. It's blending out really, really well. It's not looking heavy or feeling too slick. It does feel really lightweight underneath the eyes. I like it. Now, am I going to set this? I don't know. If it starts to settle, I might set it very, very lightly. I always try to set my concealers very minimally because I don't like to contribute to the dryness underneath the eyes by placing so much powder on top of it. So I always do a very, very light layer, especially if I see that there is any settling occurring. As of right now though, there doesn't seem to be. So let me give it a few minutes before coming back and deciding whether or not to set it, so that way you guys can see me set it and I can do it all on camera and you can see what it looks like, you know, before versus the after. So give me a couple minutes, I'll be right back. Okay, it hasn't even really been a minute and I already started seeing that it is settling just a little bit, especially over here where we didn't use the corrector versus over here, maybe a little tiny bit of settling, but I am gonna set it with a little bit of powder. So of course, taking my Oma Beauty Trip and Smooth Setting Powder in the shade Translucent, taking that with a powder puff, shaking off the excess before looking down and just lightly setting this into place. And although this is delivering, you know, true medium coverage, look how nice it looks. So like the darkness is still there. You're not going to get rid of it with medium coverage products, especially with the one layer that we used on top of the corrector, but it still looks nice. It looks a bit more neutralized, it looks a bit brighter, and it looks really good up close. That's like my main focus when it comes to my minimal makeup days, is that it is, you know, it still looks like makeup, obviously. My skin doesn't look like this without makeup. Everything looks a lot more even, but you can still see my skin, everything still shows through the makeup, and it doesn't look heavy. Everything feels and everything looks very nice and light. That's my main goal when it comes to like my no makeup days. So again, very, very minimal amounts of powder and just looking down and setting this in place. All right, so there it is, set, good to go. I don't mind the way that it looks up close. It looks, like I said, very nice and light. It doesn't look heavy. Of course, I'm getting better coverage with a corrector than without a corrector, but it still looks good underneath the eyes. I'm tempted to use a little bit of my Bare Minerals concealer in the shade Summer Bisque. You guys know I love this stuff. This is like magic powder, okay? It adds a little bit of coverage, and it also helps to like brighten the under eye area and color correct it a little bit, but without making it appear or look like too pink or too peach or too orange. It just brightens it up, and that's all it does. So I think I might use a little tiny bit, like the tiniest amount, okay? We're gonna use that underneath both eye areas, and I'm gonna keep the powder a bit like further down. I don't want to overwhelm the under eye area with a lot of powder because it's just going to look dry and it's gonna defeat the whole purpose of using a radiant concealer. So I'm gonna apply it right here just to brighten up the under eye area a little bit. And you see that, like, it doesn't even have to be excessive for it to make a difference. I'm gonna do the same thing over on the right side, even though now they look more even. I'm still gonna do it. So just right here, a little further down, right where like the orbital bone begins or ends, depending on how you want to look at that. But that's where I'm placing it. Not going too far up at all. All right, so let me bring you guys up close so that you can get a good look underneath the eyes. All right, so here we are. Personally, I am really digging the way that the left side is looking. Although we're not getting full coverage, not anywhere close, it still looks really nice and smooth. The left side does as well, in my opinion, but I really like this. I don't know, what do you guys think? All right, so with that out of the way, let me go ahead and finish the rest of my no makeup look for the day, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back, makeup is on, ready to continue on with the day. So far, I am loving my makeup today, okay? I'm loving this no makeup look. The under eye area looks concealed, but not too concealed. Like, it looks very light, very minimal. It reduces the darkness underneath the eyes. It definitely helped to brighten, but without looking heavy or cakey or excessively dry or anything like that. So far, so good. Let's see how it wears, okay? Where's my phone? Let's see. It is currently 9:25 in the morning. You guys know the drill. I plan on wearing this all day long, and of course I'm going to be coming back halfway through the day to show you close-ups underneath natural lighting, see what the concealer is doing, see what it is looking like. Is it holding up? Is it wearing off? Is it looking dry? Is it looking crusty? We'll see. We'll see in about 4 hours. So I'll see you back here in a few for my midday check-in. All right, I am back for a quick midday check-in. It is 2:03, so I've had the concealer on for a solid like 4 hours. I want to say like 4.5. This is what it now looks like. This is the side with the corrector underneath it, and this is the side without. And look at that. I mean, obviously we're not getting as much coverage, but I would say slightly similar, and it doesn't look too bad as far as it looking dry. It doesn't seem like it's worn off in any way, honestly, at all. And it feels really, really lightweight. So far, so good. So I'll continue to wear it for about another 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours to give it a full day, and see what we're left with. But yeah, as of right now, midday check-in, it looks good under natural lighting. It's very lightweight, and it hasn't moved, hasn't broken up, and it's still brightening up the under eye area pretty well. So anyway, I'll see you back here in a few more hours for my final check-in. All right, I am back for my final check-in of the day. It is currently 4:48. So I've had this on for almost a solid 8 hours. I want to say like 7.5 or something like that. Now, before I get into what I think and how I feel about this concealer after wearing it, I'm going to zoom you guys in one last time so that you can get a good look underneath the eyes after around 7, almost 8 hours of wear. All right, so here we are. As a reminder, this is the side that we color corrected before application, and this is the side that does not have a color corrector. All right, so there you have it. I actually don't mind this concealer. I don't love it just simply because I do feel like it wore off just a little bit. And had it not been for the Bare Minerals powder that I placed on top of it at the beginning of the day, I don't think that we would have a whole lot left as far as like concealing underneath the eyes. I mean, you can clearly see that the coverage has lessened from this morning. However, it looks pretty good up close. It does look very nice and light. It doesn't look excessively dry, even though I said it. It doesn't feel excessively dry. It really is doing its job as far as providing, I would say, light medium coverage for someone with dark circles, but if you don't have dark circles or if you have very minimal darkness underneath the eyes, then perhaps this would offer you medium coverage, and it looks really nice. At least I think it does. It looks good, especially out and about. This is perfect for an everyday, not like a glammed up situation. Definitely not if you're looking to completely conceal under the eyes. Forget it. You're not going to get it with this one. Try either the original Shape Tape or the Shape Tape Creamy. Those offer much better coverage. However, with this one, it does what it says it's going to do. It wears very, very light. It really does provide like that no makeup look. And also the no makeup feel. I mean, it feels really nice and light underneath the eyes. In my opinion, it doesn't look excessively dry. It doesn't feel excessively dry. It just, it helped to lessen the darkness, and it got us through the day. And I really like the way that this looks underneath the eyes. So as long as you go in with the expectation that this isn't going to provide full coverage, not even close, and that it's more of an everyday concealer, not like your typical Shape Tape concealer as far as coverage, then you're good. You're solid. You're not going to be disappointed with this formula. At least I don't think so. I'm absolutely going to continue to use this on a regular basis for like I said, like an everyday no makeup look. But when I'm looking for full coverage, this is not going to be it. If you guys want to see like a comparison video in which I wear each individual Shape Tape concealer for an entire day, giving you a before and after, like a beginning of day and then an end of day for all 3 different Shape Tape formulas, let me know and I will gladly do that to get a good idea of how the 3 compare to one another. So let me know if you'd want to see that. Overall, it's a good concealer, but definitely not going to be for everyone, just depending on what level of coverage you're looking for, I guess. So that completes today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's product review and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future videos. And also don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Like I said, all of those things go a really long way here on YouTube. It helps to support the channel and to keep it going. And I appreciate you so much for doing any of those things. So as always, take care and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye.